Hi, hello, it's me, the local virtual baker of some sort of variety. Hi, hi, hello, hi broccoli, hello. How are we doing today, party people? How we doing? Is this a brick masonry channel now? Pretty much. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, lads. We're doing some absolutely diabolical things right now. Like, who in the right mind? You know, just like, who in the right mind? Truly, this is the question of all time, and you must answer this because, like, this is just the question. Who? Why? Why would this? Why? Anyways, hey, we're making bread today, and this is actually a nice small little thing. This is a small little thing that I'm also doing. This is not just a good experimentation stream, but it's also helping one of those little small little goals that I'm trying to plan and do, because as we all, sorry, I gotta put the mic down. As we all may or may not know, I'm trying to make breads based off Vtubers. So we are now at a point to where I have been avoiding for quite a long time, honestly. I think it's very much safe to say that I've been trying to avoid this part of the project for quite some time, and it's not because I hate something or hate anyone, but like remember what my ideology when it came to making bread and VTuber bread above all else? It's essentially to make bread that is not just something that is honoring a VTuber and whatnot, but it's also to make bread that is also based on not based on, but also something that can also what's the word? That if they were to somehow get their hands on it and able to eat it, they would and maybe like it. So as you can see here, oh, okay, jeez. We have a really sleepy ass bear, let me tell ya. Who's the brick VTuber? It's this one. You know, she needs some bricks. She needs that bricks for her DIY projects and all that. So I'm here, and I'm here to what's not to present. I don't know what the word is here. I'm bad at speaking, but you know, I'm here to throw in, to pitch, to maybe give an idea even of like, hey, this is unfortunately something that she would have to eat. I believe she is gluten-free. I don't remember, it's been like 2 years since I've actually last interacted with them. But yeah, no, I am 100% trying to make a gluten-free bread that is based on Senna. Because, you know, Senna, I think she's a good friend, I would like to think. She's cool. I miss her, my goodness, she's taking such a long hibernation, but to also mention, hey, she probably really needs it. Who knows, I don't know what she is exactly doing, but I hope she's doing grand nonetheless. Miss Senna, ooh. Okay, I gotta move some stuff around in preparation because as you all know, we are baking, we are making, and we're breading and baking and making food. We're making food today, so I'm not sure if you actually know about my baking setup and whatnot because it is, in essence, really scuff. For one thing, I actually have, so when I normally stream, my OBS is on my second monitor, not my main monitor, because my main monitor is where I do my main stuff. But for baking, my main monitor is the only monitor I can see, and then I would have to move my head and like snake around to see the second monitor, so there's that. And also I gotta move the microphone and this and that. stupid stuff. But hey, all you need to know is that that does work, and also the camera is in place. So yeah, we're on a good pace. I think we're good to do this stream today. I have actually done the proper prep work and actually got the proper recipes written down. I have gotten a lot of recipes written down. I have 2 experimental recipes I want to work with today, so we're gonna see how that turns out. And I also have what is it? Not only do I have my experimental recipes, I also have the recipe that is a part of the, what is it? A part of I guess the bread, the flour that it's used for. Because usually, more often than not, when you get a specific flour, they know that you're gonna try and make bread with it or something with it. So I'm trying to base off a lot of what I'm doing today on this recipe. But I'm also satiating my own stupid curiosity as well. So I've done a lot of research though. Well, not a lot. I've done more than minimal research for this. I've looked into hydration percentages. I've looked into acid content. I've looked into things such as baking soda rising ratios for flour. I've looked into a lot of weird things, I guess, because like first of all, baking soda rising ratios, that's really weird. Makes no sense to me. And it's like not really beneficial to me because I make bread, not cake. But I have had several ideas to try and get this idea down, and I'm trying to look through my DMs right now because I have a picture of the bread I have made, and I would like to present it to the class right now. Okay. So, my first interpretation of bread, because I was told that this recipe was a quote, not for cup, but this flour was a good 1-to-1 substitute. So I took that very literally, and I used that to make in replacement to my country loaf bread I can make. And to be fair, it looks okay. I'm not terribly upset with it in all honesty, but when I opened her up, she was a little dense. She was really thick and not preferable, to say at the very least. Granted, it tasted fine. The flavor was okay. It was just, a little dense. Bread with no gluten? Are you crazy, chef? Yes. Yes, I am. That is just because I want to make this bread for, what is it? I want to make this bread for my friend, and she has, I think she's gluten-free? I'm pretty sure, like 50-50. Coin flip odds, if I do say so myself. I'm not fairly sure. But either way, I kind of feel bad for people who do have celiacs because, I'll be honest, your bread sucks. I think at my job, we have gluten-free bread, but it's really like, when you eat it, it kind of dissolves in your mouth and turns into like this weird starchy paste, and it's like, after a while, it's like, oh, these are the people that used to probably eat glue in their younger ages too, because like, it turns into like this weird, starchy mess conglomerate. It's horrible. Which is why I'm actually quite hopeful about this flour. For the longest time, I have been looking into flour mixes, flour blends, but I've come empty-handed on that research because, first of all, I don't make enough money to look into all these kind of rice flours, bread flours, corn flours, other sort of weird flours. there's a lot of kind of flours that you look into, and it's like, I don't know the science behind any of this stuff. It is, I want to shoot myself, but I think, but I kind of just folded and went like, just screw it, hell of it. My favorite brand of flour has a measure for measure flour that they use. I trust this brand, so it's like, all right, let's give it a go. A friend of mine can't eat regular bread. She always asks me about gluten-free bread. So we're kind of in that same boat in that sense. Oh, also another small little thing. What is it? I do have some friends and no, I don't have friends at my job. I have some coworkers that also have been trying to do a gluten-free diet, but I like to mess with them because this is a choice. They willingly want to go gluten-free, and it's like, no. Why are you doing that? That's stupid. Like, okay, the thing about like gluten-free stuff is not inherently bad. Like, I understand why there is a market for it. Okay, I understand why there is a gluten-free market and all this and that and all that whatnot, because people can't eat gluten or they get cancer. But I feel like a lot of normal people will actually eat bread and go like, oh my god, bread will cause cancer and this and that, and it's like, no, unless you got celiac, you don't need to worry about it. And also it's like, oh, bread will make me fat. Yeah, sure, but if you eat anything and then you sit down and go take a nap, it's gonna make you fat regardless of what you eat. And also, the thing about carbs is that if you consume them and then you work off the energy, you won't gain weight. Cancer? That sucks. Yeah, I believe that's like the main danger of like celiacs. It's something to do with their gut and their intestines and whatnot. I'm not fully in tune to what celiacs does fully entail, but to my knowledge, the thing with celiacs, people who have celiacs, they have a weak, they just have a weaker intestine in that regard. I'm calling them weak, I don't care. They can't eat bread, they're weak. It's just like the people with lactose intolerance, except people who are lactose intolerant can still consume lactose and they won't die. But like, people with celiacs or gluten intolerances might die. So, a little bit different, but yeah. It's like the people who can't eat peanuts, if you will. They're weak. They're so weak, so weak. Weaklings. I can't handle bread. If you can't handle bread, you might as well just be dead. Just saying. Oh yeah, we love Saribot. We love Saribot. Saribot just banned someone. We love that. Thank you, Saribot. Okay, well, I think I've done enough yabbling and wabbling around. I'm gonna just move this away. And yeah, I want to do this. We're gonna be making, well, we're not making this bread. I'm not confident enough, nor do I even have a good baseline gluten-free bread recipe that I'm able to go like, yeah, okay, we can do this. Anyways, I will be later. I'm at work, lol. Get off your phone! Go to work! Jeez. Using your, go be productive. Stop it. Unless you're on break, get out of here. Get. Stop watching the anime, boy! You're literally at work. You have better things to do. Get out of here. I'm gonna time you out. I'm gonna time you out so you go to work, yeah. Nuh-uh, now I'm staying. Okay, well, you know what? I'm only a security guard. Well, listen, don't be like a security guard at like one of my jobs. At my job. Don't do it. They don't need to be safe. You know, it's crazy because at my job, we have security guards. And I'm gonna sound really mean here, but I'm gonna just say it how it is. They're really old and they're really feeble. and they're kind of rotund. Listen, where I live, there's a very easy opportunity that if a person wanted to invade the building, they could do it with ease. If they had a gun, they would be able to get in with no resistance. Everyone's in trouble. Listen, I understand because like I believe it's like an easy job, so like, and we don't really have people breaking in and all that whatnot because high security and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like when I see the mans who's just kind of sitting there half asleep with sandals on, I don't feel exactly the most safe. But I digress. It's probably not as serious as I think it would be, but meh. You're discriminating every security guard? You have any idea how much time we spend on our phones to keep everyone safe? Oh, of course. I'm so sorry. You know, I never really thought of it like that. I guess just getting that chance of getting shot in the face is just kind of worth it then, huh? But yeah, it's actually kind of funny of how scary, easy it is. If you wanted to come into this building, you wouldn't be met with very little resistance. They should be happy I get up from the chair at all. Who else can sleep for them? You know, you drive a fair point, and I just guess I've never thought of it like that. Okay. Anyways, we're almost, not exactly, we're 22 minutes in, not half an hour. But we're getting pretty far in at this point where it's like, we actually have to start baking. So, let's get on to it, yes? Let's actually do the thing that I'm trying to turn stream on for, yeah? Okay. Okay, here we are in the kitchen, and we're ready for stuff to happen. Hold on, I'm just gonna make sure, check everything is alright here. And, alright, let's go! Alright, get over here. Yeah, we're going right to work now. Man, I love my mic stand so much. It just makes things so much easier. Wish that my phone camera would stop auto-adjusting. Alright, here we are, back in the kitchen, ready to do some mishaps and meandering. Hi, chat. Hi. We're here. Oh, hey, let me show you a pretty nice scar I got because, I think earlier last week, I think it was literally last week, I got myself pretty good here. You see it? Like, I'm pretty sure I cut off like a good chunk of my thumb here. I mean, it wasn't really that bad in the grand scheme of it all. It was just a little nip. But I'm saying it was like, oh, it was a big deal, blah, 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 because like I started bleeding. Like I think I bled maybe at least like a few tablespoons of blood. That was fun. That was great. And it's even funnier because like when I did cut myself, I didn't even realize I was bleeding until I saw blood on the board. Just saying, I did clean the board. Actually, not clean. I got rid of the board and threw everything off because that's contamination. Cross-contamination. We don't do I do not do blood transfusions. I'm a cook. So yes. Anyways, scar. That implies that implies being a man. Congratulations. I am not a man. And plus, must I show you my stuff again? Like my scars I already have. There's one right here. I have the chef callus right here. There's a scar that's healed up from a few years ago right here. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up. And then I have like this scar. I think this scar I got from a beer bottle. Yeah, I got a few. Blood tastes good. Blood do taste good, but it only belongs in steak. And even at that, that's not blood. That's protein. Hemoglobin, I think is what it is. Thinking of blood in terms of tablespoons, Keck. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say I bled gallons, but I can definitely say I've at least bled at least 1 or 2 tablespoons. But it is kind of funny, like, oh yeah, I bled at least a tablespoon during work that day, and it's like, oh, that's pretty bad. Just went back to work just like nothing happened because I'm just built stupid. Okay. Anyways, here we have it. The thing, the recipes. And also, here we have this. The one-to-one substitute. See Baker's tip on back. Great for sourdough, sweet rolls, and bread. Yeah, this is the gluten-free bread flour. It is really interesting. And yeah, we're gonna see how this works. It's gonna be very unique. So yeah, let's get to it. Yes? So there was a lot of things I had to look into whilst doing this though, because for one thing, I wanted to do 2 experiments. The first experiment I wanted to do was testing, what is it? Testing the idea if I made this like soda bread. One of the big things about that first bread I showed you was that it was very dense, and I used a normal ratio of like yeast and stuff like that, but there wasn't really much rise. So maybe I was thinking that maybe I'm attacking the situation in an incorrect manner. Maybe I'm not I'm not baking this in the way it probably would benefit more. I've never made soda bread before, but I've heard that it is slightly dense, but it is still fairly airy. So I'm also going to take my chances today and try and check how that's going to turn out. So I'm hoping that it will yield some good results. So, anyways, my turn to pretend about those fools at work. BRB. Don't be right back. Just go. Get out of here. Ah, jeez. Stop slacking. And I know I'm one to talk, because, like, at my job, we've recently been very quiet. So I've been slacking as well, but you're a security guard. Go sleep on the bench or something. Alright. So, something that I never really thought of ever thinking I would ever need to make, just because the sheer idea of it is kind of weird. But I have to make acidic water, essentially. What I mean by acidic water is that, what is it? If you don't know, I guess, basic science and whatnot, I'm gonna just try and give the very simple rundown here. So, when you use baking soda and this and that, you cannot simply just throw baking soda in flour and expect it to rise. There needs to be some sort of chemical reaction to activate said rise, if you will. Which is kind of funny, because you don't think like, oh, then what about like in chocolate chip cookies, for instance? There's no acid in that inherently, but there is. Brown sugar is slightly acidic. It has molasses in it, if you didn't know. So you have that, and you can use that, and that is what helps baking soda rise. Jeez, I don't know why that was so hard to say. But I've looked into like a very simple ratio, because I looked into like, oh, how do you make buttermilk? Because buttermilk has a pH. It's acidic. Buttermilk also is, you can make buttermilk at home, and I've done that several times, because you just throw milk and acid together, but I don't have milk right now, which is really funny, I guess, but I think I don't ever use milk. So instead, I replaced the milk with water, and, well, pretty much why I measured that all together. So this is pretty much just butter water, I guess, if you want to call it. Even that doesn't really make sense. But hey, it's the same idea, same concept. It's acidic, it's gonna help the baking soda rise, and yeah. Anyways, I got my pure baking soda here, and I'm gonna just really quickly check how active it is, because it's in an open thing. So I'm just gonna really quickly throw that in there. And then just throw... Hold on, wait. Alright, it's active enough. It fizzled. Now I am also working with very, very minimal ratio, recipes here, because I don't really actually have much of this flour, and this flour is stupidly expensive. Makes sense because it's a gluten-free flour, but I'm still very limited on what I can utilize here. So we're gonna try to, try to take that into account. Anyways. I'm gonna, where is... Alright, cool. Didn't disconnect. Alright. So it is weird because all these, since the recipes are really downsized, I can probably just mix everything in this bowl right here. So we're gonna need the following, and I actually probably should get another sterile container. Not sterile, but a clean container, because the first recipe I'm utilizing, has yeast. And this is very general sort of stuff here, but like, hey, yeast doesn't like acid. Acid kills yeast. So I gotta try and have separate water for that. Okay, so let's see here. I need 75 grams of water. 82. 78. 27. 76. 75. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bowl. Another bowl. Apparently, from how this recipe actually does explain it, it does say to use instant active, and it also does it also does mention how you want to add the water later, not right yet. There we go. 4 grams. I need to add the salt now as well, which is a very interesting sort of thing to do. Salt and the yeast together, but it should be fine since the yeast is dry. I need like 6 grams of salt, which is actually a lot. There we go. Okay, so salt, yeast, and now this is where I put in the flour. Oh, this witchcraft. I need 120 grams of this for this small boy. Right, pretty much that's it. I now have to just kind of mix this together, and now I just kind of stream the water in, which is interesting because now the issue that I have, or the issue that I think of when as I'm doing this, is This is a very dry bread. I'm kind of worried about that. Alright, here we go. Good. And I'm just gonna throw this water in just like that. It did also mention to use a mixer, but I'm not doing that because I don't feel like it. And I also need to throw an egg in here, which is kind of weird at first, because like, why would you want to put an egg in something like this? It doesn't make much sense in my head. But then I also kind of remember that an egg would actually be an extremely good idea to put into like a bread that's based like this. Fortunately, it's not vegan, but if you know anything about the utility of using egg in most bread recipes, is that egg is a binder. It helps kind of keeps things together. And if you look at how crumbly and dry this is, an egg would very much benefit and help out this recipe. Or not recipe, but just this atrocity of gluten-free nonsense. And also, apparently, allegedly, this is going to have a very batter-like consistency, and I'm quite interested to see how that turns out. I also got to make sure I don't overwork this, because starch can break apart very, very easily. So yeah, we're going to try and not kill it, if you will. Alright. Eggs! Eggs. Many, many eggs. Oop. I'm just gonna mix that with my hands. Wow, that actually worked out pretty well. Actually coming together very nicely. It's very sticky, but I'm pretty sure in the recipe it did mention that, hey, your bread will have a more sticky-like consistency. So I'm trusting the process here. And now I'm just gonna kind of let it sit. I don't really want to work it too much. I don't want it to get too gummy. So now I just kind of have to let it rise. It's weird. It's very weird. This really does just feel like I'm making a cake. But yeah. Like a very dry cake, because usually when you make cake batters and whatnot, you know, they're wet, they're liquid. But this is kind of almost like a consistency of like ciabatta. I hate ciabatta just because it's so painful to make. Not painful, but like a pain in the ass to make. So, hi Lung, hi, hello, hello. You know, I gotta say, I'm not trying to call anyone out here, but I am also really interested of how many of you guys are actually here. It's like, what? It's like Wednesday, and you're telling me that you guys don't have work? I'm not gonna lie, every single time I do these streams, I'm kind of expecting that no one shows up. So the fact that there are people here, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your day to say hi. But also, don't you guys have, like, a job? Or just anything? I work only once a week, not my fault. Oh. I mean, if you work only once a week, that's quite nice, no? I'm assuming, at least. I'm not sure. Don't know your sitch. Your biz. Yes and no, to be honest. Alright. Alright, actually, I am gonna just do what I said I wasn't gonna try to do and work this a little bit. I'm actually quite surprised at how well this does feel, because it's not terrible by how it feels. It's just, once more, very sticky. If this can get a good rise, then I will consider this a success. Because that's the only thing that I'm really kind of interested about. Will this rise? By how much? But yeah, using an egg in this was such a really good idea. Because it kind of did bound everything together. Alright. I'm gonna put it in this one. That reminds me one of the first times I've made like donuts before. I remember I tried following this donut recipe to an absolute T, and I think I might have measured it wrong or it was too hot, but it turned into like this wacky sticky mess like how I'm in right now. So okay, first recipe has been made. Okay, that is the yeast one. The yeast one is also gonna be our, what's the word? It's also gonna be our, what's the word? Can't think of the word right now. It's kind of our baseline, if you will. Because I followed that as the normal recipe, if you will. And now, we're gonna be delving into a bit more of a different sort of thing. Just because, still, the idea of it is very strange. Because why would you do this? Why would you do a mix of both baking soda and water? I mean, baking soda and yeast. I'm not sure if this is actually gonna yield any results, but I'm still doing it just because I am just curious. Let's see what happens. Alright, so the recipe is pretty much the same, it's just that instead of using, instead of just using this, I'm also having the inclusion of baking soda and the acidic water. 120. Okay, this is now where I put in a 1/4 of a teaspoon, not much. If I have a 1/4 of a teaspoon, that is. There it is. There it is, where I put in a good 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Or 2 grams, I didn't know it was that. The salt, once more, so 6 grams. And the 4 grams of yeast. No, it's 4 grams? 4 grams. This, in a sense, in my head, is a touch overkill, just because the yeast doesn't, I wouldn't imagine actually really needs, what's the word here? The yeast doesn't really need too much. I mean, the yeast and the baking soda is overkill in my head, but I'm not sure, so. Now, here's where things get a little weird, because I kind of have to mix this in 2 stages. So, at first, I'm going to put in only 50 grams of water. And I'm gonna mix this how it is right now. Alright, it's a crumbly mess right now. Actually, I didn't think this through all the way. I kind of should have activated the yeast beforehand. Oh well, this is what an experimentation's for to begin with. And now I'm gonna finish the rest with this acidic water with 75 grams. I'm not sure if this should be enough, but it should just be enough to maybe activate the baking soda, but at the same time not kill off the needed yeast to help with the rise as well. Very strange, very weird, I agree, but experimentation must happen. And like before, 1 egg. Now I just mix my hand again. I do kind of wonder, because I know there is some sort of interaction when you actually bake with yeast like this. Bake with, not yeast, baking soda like this. It's such a minimal amount, and we're also just not really making too much with the, what is it? With the acid as well. There's not really much acid in the grand scheme of this. Probably around maybe a teaspoon, probably not even a teaspoon, but a bit of acid in this. But I'm wondering to see how that's gonna turn out. The dough feels good, so that's a plus. And yeah, I'm kind of treating this if this was like a ciabatta. This is kind of how it would like mix the gluten and all that whatnot. But it's kind of funny because there is no gluten because it's just starch really. But yeah, I just want to get it mixed enough. And if you want to know what I'm doing, because it kind of does from the top view, just looks like I'm just kind of patting it on the head. What I'm doing is putting my fingers in, stretching, and then dropping. Stretch, drop, stretch, drop, stretch, drop, and then just doing that over and over and over again. And it looks like it actually helped it build a bit of structure, so that's looks promising actually. Intriguing. Actually, I would go as far and say that this looks a lot better than the first interpretation, so hey, that's a plus. And also, didn't stick to me as much as well. Very interesting. Experiment number 2. It's a 1 combo. Now, the interesting thing is when we get to recipe number 3. Hold on, I gotta wash the hand. Because now we're on the other side of the spectrum of this kind of experimentation we're doing. Hi, Softgent. Hello, hello. Sorry I didn't say hi to you any sooner. Just trying to figure this whole hodgepodge out. But this is where things get a little bit more interesting. Just for the whole reason of now we're making cake, essentially. Because now we're not adding any sort of yeast, we're just straight up just making cake, pretty much. There's no yeast in this part, there's no yeast in this test run, we're just going straight in with it. Which is kind of nice, because the thing about this is that now we kind of just, how'd you say? We just kind of throw it all together and we can actually bake it right away. So we're just gonna do and go with that. So I need 120 once more. Once more I need 120 grams of flour. Of this weird ass flour. It sounds like you're still needing salt for a quick rise. Well, I'm not gonna need salt. Salt doesn't actually make anything rise, it just gives flavor. That upon itself was actually a partial lie. What salt actually also does, it also kills off and maintains the amount of yeast that does grow in a bread, but it is, for the most part, for the sake of just getting the idea across, it is mainly for flavor. And especially for this yeastless bread, it is purely for flavor. It's still weird, I don't like this. Because Now I just throw in the baking soda, and that's pretty much it. I gotta add in the water, but I gotta add in the acidic water, and then I gotta add in the egg. That should be a nice binder. And thank you for the reminder. I actually do have my recipes written over here. I don't have everything in frame, so I apologize. But you can't even see it. But yeah. This one's weird because on paper we kind of have to bake this right away. And I have a baking vessel. So we got that. I am also kind of thinking, like, do I actually want to put like a... Do I actually want to treat this like a cake, like full blast? In the sense that, do I want to like oil it, flour it, all that whatnot? Honestly, I don't. So I'm probably just gonna throw parchment paper in it and call it a day. I need to make a reminder to myself. I need to get tinfoil. No, tinfoil right now. Alright. Oh, I almost did it backwards. What the hell is this? A travesty. Alright, good. Now we're pretty much done measuring. Now we're just in the mixing. Now I can crack the egg with one hand here as I'm mixing. And there we go. For some reason, this feels a lot wetter. A lot more wet. Scrape down on the sides. One hand egg crack, show off? What do you mean? Do we go? Okay, so I'm not sure this is flex, but like, what the hell is so interesting about one egg hand crack? Genuinely, I'm not trying to sound like a show off because it's like, it's really brainless, and it really is at the end of the day just muscle memory. I can show you guys the technique. It's very easy. It's all on the wrist, and also where you also crack the egg as well. It actually does matter. Because if you just crack the egg in just any sort of area, then it is going to, what is it? It is going to get the shell and all that whatnot. Kenya left. I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm not sure why you're bringing other streamers in the chat. But alright then. Sure. Okay, so this one is just kind of just baking soda inside. Actually, it doesn't even feel like I need this baking vessel. I might just... Oh, I'm trying to move my hand quick too, because the more I mess around right now, the more this sticks, and I'm trying to make sure this doesn't stick. Alright. Using the acidic water as well is very weird. Alright. Okay, there we go. That is our first, this is gonna be our first bread we make. Looks interesting. And yeah, alright. It's always fun to like, my mouth decided to duct tape itself close. Decided to stop talking just then. Let me just throw stuff. Not away, but like in their proper areas. By the looks of it, I'm just gonna actually just really quickly kind of got my hand a little wet and I'm just gonna kind of glaze it over this here. Because it looks like it actually smooths it out a bit, so hopefully this would help with its visual looks as well. Listen, visuals mean a lot, and especially when it comes to like bread stuff like this. You want something to make, you want it to look nice, you want to make it look nice too. Basically, a long series of comments. The Korean War, kind of comical. Okay, interesting, I guess. Alright, well, it doesn't really need to do. I don't really need to do a cross because I don't think there's gonna really be much ears here. But I'm just gonna do it just because of culture, I suppose. Alright. In the oven this boy goes, because there is no need to wait for rise. It is just baking soda. I should set a timer, but honestly, I'm not really sure how long it should even be in there to begin with. I know the general consensus is that it should be baked at 350, but at 350, oven's already preheated. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab a timer now. Okay, alright. Got my watch. I'm gonna set a timer for like 15 minutes should do, and yeah. In the oven it is. Hi there, dinner. What's happening right now? Hi Choco. We made bricks. Here are our bricks we have made. Hold on, I need to put like tape or something on this. Alright chat. You know my memory not good. My brain always in the drain mode. I'm going to ask you guys a favor. Please, remember this for me. This is very important. This one with the green tape is baking soda and yeast. Okay? Remember that for me. Something that shouldn't be edible, and for some reason, it bounces like a ball. Well, I'm not sure if it's gonna bounce like a ball, but we'll find out if it does. I'll throw it against the wall, and if it bounces back, statement's true. It'll probably turn out like Zach and Cody's mom's muffins. Jeez, what a deep cut. Jeez, I haven't thought about... Is that show still airing, by the way? No, probably not, because I imagine they're probably older now. Jeez, that's an old show, though. Not an old show, it's like 10 years ago, but like 10 years ago is like almost is a little bit more than half my lifetime. No? Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, let's see here. Well, there's not much we can really do at this current moment. We're kind of just waiting around for this bread to bake. You know what? I think, stopped at the ship. Oh yeah! The sweet life of Zack and Cody on board this, I don't know, on like, ship or some stuff like that. I don't remember the name of it. Speaking of, well, not speaking of that, but, since we have nothing to do right now, I'm actually gonna make soup. I've been doing a bit of meal prep and this and that and stuff like that. Stuff because, I don't know, I need to minimize stress and whatnot, I guess. Need to try and make really easy and good meals. Ever so happened that I got my hands on a lot of corn, and I have potatoes. So I got corn, I got some potatoes, and at my job, I was able to just cut this the other day. Some nice celery, onion, thyme, and garlic. So everything's kind of fallen in place that I should try and make chowder. Corn chowder at that. And that is what I am 100% intending on doing. No, I saw that on my screen. There's no way that this is glitching. This is a new camera. I'm surprised if that is the case, but I'm gonna pretend I did not see that. Do not perceive. Alright. I'm also gonna actually make this soup a little fun here, because this morning I decided to treat myself and make some hash browns. But I decided to deep fry everything in some tallow I have. But I have a whole bunch of tallow that's solidified, and you know, it's just tallow. You can reuse it. It's not like you can only use it once and throw it away. So I'm gonna use some of the tallow in this as well, because why not? A bit more meatiness, if you will. A bit more beef flavor and all that. Also, I kind of like cooking with tallow. I think it's fun. A little bit different than butter. So yeah. It is weird though that I'm making a really, like, not hearty. It's like when we talk about like hearty soups, you know, you got your stews, and then you got your clear soups, like what is it, like just chicken and rice or something, or like chicken noodle soup. I like to think that those are kind of like middle ground, very easy soups to have that you could really have for any season. But like if you have like chowder or something like that, then I feel like you're trying to, not chowder, what is it? When you have, what is it called? I don't remember what it's called. Oh yeah, stew and chowder and stuff like that. When you have stew and chowder, I like to think that it's a bit more hearty. You want something because it's cold outside. And let me tell you, it is not cold outside. So, remember when you were strangling me yesterday, the good old days? That is funny. Why are you strangling each other? Don't do that now. How am I number one? Number one? I don't know how you're number one now. I should have the leaderboard of the top fan things disabled, so I don't know why and how you see that. Oh well. Maybe it's just a server-side cache sort of ordeal or something going on. Unfortunately, out of my control. And I think it's also relative to not just like chat overall, but like I imagine for the top fans silly thing, it's not just, it's relative to like recent chatting, I believe. So if you're starting a storm and you're constantly talking, then yeah, it's going to obviously say, hey, you're top, I guess. I don't understand. I actually don't really like it. It is? Okay, so it is relative. Regardless, I still think it's the whole thing is silly. Alright, soup. And now I gotta peel some potatoes. Kind of funny about potatoes, because like, yeah, you know how like, I don't know, people say that, hey, if you're gonna peel potatoes, you want to make sure you have water nearby. Okay, well, I already know what's gonna go on. I see it in chat, but you know what? I'm just gonna let it happen. Odd feature that basically does nothing? Yeah, pretty much. I don't really know what else to say right now. I'm just gonna be completely transparent here. So as I am I know I'm just quietly peeling this potato here, but it's like, I have nothing else to say, you know? I'm just peeling a damn potato. There's not much to really say on this matter. I don't know. Wow, potato skins, yummy. I need to grab my corn too, because I'm trying to time this perfectly to where I'll be able to put the potatoes in the pot, and when they're in, I don't have to worry about what is it? I don't have to worry about them getting brown or whatnot. So let's just get right to cutting, because I gotta cut these potatoes. These are actually, I don't want the ends. I'm being very pedantic. There we go. New mode card Switch 2 is boring. Yeah, I've heard that being like the general consensus of like the new Mario Kart and whatnot. I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews on it, honestly. Kind of felt like I'm missing out on Switch 2, but like, I'm not really too worried about it because I'm not really interested in Mario Kart and whatnot. I'm more honestly a, what is it? I'm more of a Pokemon fan, and seeing how there's actually a bundle recently. There's a bundle for Pokemon ZA and what is it? There's a bundle for Pokemon ZA and the Switch 2, and it's like $499. I'm just gonna start saving some money for that, really. I think it's also $20 cheaper, so wahoo! It's a wahoo for me. Ugh. Gotta cut myself here. Yeah, it's only like a few. It's like $20 cheaper, but like $20 cheaper is a lot to save for. But hey, that's a plus. You know, it's kind of funny too, because as I am like cutting this all too, I am kind of just, I'm like focusing way too hard on cutting this damn potato. Cutting stuff shouldn't be this hard for me right now, but I guess my brain is like, yeah, no, you're gonna have a hard time doing this. So as it's decreed, it is being very hard to work with right now. I don't feel like trimming that. Okay, there we go. Actually, I should throw some flour in the mix here. The reason why I think chowder is a bit more of a hearty thing is that it does require a roux. It's a thick soup, so only makes sense to add it. It's like making a tomato sauce and then you don't add onion and garlic. It's just like, why would you do that? It's just kind of like something you need. Yeah? And my timer's going off. So, I'm still on the floor. That means the bread should be ready. The baking soda, the gluten-free bread. But I'm gonna let that go for just a little bit longer because I kind of have a feeling. Let me just look at it. Yeah, she needs more time. But from the quick instance, the quick little look I had of it, not gonna lie, actually kind of surprised. It looks good. A lot better than I thought it would, so hey. It has a mega. Oh, Dragon Knight got some. Okay. Hey, I'm sorry to tell you, you spelled Dragon Knight wrong. I was thinking like, what the hell is Dragon Knight? Yeah, Dragon Knight got a mega, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not really sure how I honestly feel about it. Definitely cool. It's really nice that Dragon Knight got a, what is it? It's really cool that Dragon Knight actually got a mega. But at the same time, I'm not sure if this is a take. I'm not in the camp of like, oh, the mega for Dragon Knight should have looked different or something like that, because honestly, I don't really give a damn. But honestly, I also just don't think Dragon Knight needs a mega evolution. Thoughts? Thoughts? It's still nice. Hey, we can't really deny it. We've been given food, and it's why would we want to deny such a thing? But yeah, no. I don't understand. I don't really think there was needed to happen. Okay, was this my... Nope. Okay, good. I know I have some stock that was actually used for some ramen I made the other day, but I think I might have either thrown it out or already ate it. I actually might need a lot more water here by the looks of it. I would like to use stock, but unfortunately, if this is what I've been given once more, it just is what it is. It's not much, but it's something. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much either way around it, no matter how you really look at it, when it comes to Dragon Knight's Mega Evolution. First of all, it's nice that we're getting new Mega Evolutions. I'm honestly gonna say is that I was not expecting to really get Mega Evolutions, or at least, no, I just wasn't expecting to get Mega Evolutions, period. But it's really nice that actually, they actually gave, what is it? They actually gave Dragonite a Mega Evolution. So that was pretty cool. I'm kinda hoping though, I'm holding out for hope here, because if they gave Dragonite a Mega Evolution, surely, that must mean that, ooh, that Flygon should get a Mega Evolution. If you want to know about the camp of where I stand, of like, oh hey, when should this mon get a Mega Evolution and whatnot? Honestly, I am in the camp that like Flygon kind of deserves a Mega Evolution. The typing's really cool, and I think it's generally pretty okay when it comes to stats and whatnot. But I do feel like it needs a little bit more oomph. It needs a bit more power, if you will. Now we wait for the next Dex entry to see how is this Mega You're so right, though. But that's also in consideration because, like, I don't know what Rotom Dex was on, but Rotom Dex had it for something. Had it for people for some reason. So it's like, I think Rotom Dex was just really just malicious. Evil, even. Oh, I should probably put a Bayleaf. Not like the Pokemon, but I just need a Bayleaf. Do I have anything? Sworn I had some. Oh, there it is. I've still yet to do a good test or something to see what Bayleaves actually do contribute to something like this. Because Bayleaves don't really have a flavor necessarily, or at least a notable flavor. But I definitely do know that you can take notice of the difference at least. There is a notable difference, I just unfortunately do not know what that difference is. There we go. Where is the corn? Can't make a corn chowder without corn, you know? Alright, there we go. Into the dishwasher it goes. Actually, now that I just have my dishwasher actually open, I should actually just throw everything in here. Get in there, get in there, get in there. Yeah, I'm feeling lazy. I don't really feel like cleaning my stuff. I can just throw it in the dishwasher, call it a day. A lot of the mega entries state that there's suffering going on beyond the evolution. I still think it was just Rotom Dex, man. The Alolan, because it really did just come from only the Alolan Dex, right? Everything else was pretty hinged when, like, when they were talking about the megas in Red, Pikachu and Eevee, right? Have you ever made Mexican food? Yeah, I've made Mexican food on occasion. I have a tortilla press. I've made carnitas before. They were a little bit too sweet before though. They're good. They're nice. There we go. And that is my corn chowder pretty much. The last thing I need to do to finish this corn chowder is add cream, but I'm gonna just let that reduce now. Let that get nice and thick. Tacos al pastor. I don't know what that is. Well, that tastes good though. Had a little taste. Got a little spoonful of it. Yeah, and the best I'm gonna let that do now is just let it reduce. Oh, wrong burner. I'm gonna just leave out my back burner here. Let that do its thing. Slowly reduce and get better flavor. I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not gonna try and pronounce those, because I don't know what that says. Anyways. Here's our brick. Wow. How sad. But actually... Oh, wait, you can't see it. Okay, let me just show it right here. How sad. And I'm not gonna lie, I think partially the reason to why it looks so sad is my fault, honestly. Just because of, what is it? I didn't really bake it in a good way. If I threw it in like a cast iron and put a lid on top, it probably would have been better. So the color is not really my issue that I have. Gotta make sure it's cooked though. Yeah, that's cooked. Okay. Here we go. One down, a few more to go. And I guess for the next two, I'm actually gonna put a little bit more heart into it, a little bit more care even. Because I'm honestly really shocked, really surprised. Really shocked and surprised that it actually turned out well in the end. Like, there was rise in this. There is a bit of a notable amount of rise with this. I'm surprised about that. And it's actually not terribly dense. Don't get me wrong. She's still a little dense, but it's a step in the right direction at least. Alright. We're kind of just waiting for these guys to rise though. I think this is the baking soda and yeast one, and this is just the yeast one. The yeast one looks good. Might need a bit more time to rise, and I know when it comes to these, when it does come to the yeasted breads and whatnot, when I add the yeast, they tend to rise a lot more slowly. I'm also now realizing a oversight I had, because I noticed with every single bread recipe I looked up for gluten-free bread, there's always like, oh, you want to add a little sugar, oh, you want to add a little sugar, oh, you want to add a little sugar. I'm kind of wondering, is the sugar actually really crucial when it comes to making this? Because when you make bread, the yeast kind of almost feeds on the, what is it? They feed on the flour, because they eat off the gluten and the starches and the sugars and natural sugars and flour that helps it rise and give its energy and stuff. But this is just pure starch in a way, and I'm not sure if the yeast will actually feed off that or not. So I'm just gonna wait and just see that run its course for now. But yeah, there's not much for us to really do. The unfortunate thing when it comes to bread baking is that we just gotta wait now. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that making that soup was gonna take a little longer as well, but it didn't take no time at all. So how about I just go back to my desktop and we can do a little bit of drawing or something? Yes? Hi, hello, and we're back. Sugar is basically because you'll basically it's a brick. This can meat beef steak. I'm not sure that's I don't know much Spanish, but for some reason my oh. Oh, okay, it does. Spanish. What a funny, weird way it works. Alright, nice. Alright. I'm actually quite thirsty. It's nice to actually got myself a little water now. It's great. I forgot to take the water with me as I was running into the kitchen. So, hey, I got water now, and we basically have all the time in the world as we speak. Nothing else for us to really do at the moment. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I'm like scrolling on Twitter as we speak right now, so it was the first thing on my it was the first thing that was on my desktop as soon as I moved OBS to the other monitor, and now it's like, I'm distracted. I see it. I see it. Taco al pastor. I'm looking at the previous chat messages and whatnot now. So I'm taking time to look at that. Also just doing a bit of Google search, just cause I'm interested, I'm intrigued. I'm not sure why. It's really stupid, I think. But I think it's like, oh, I see al, A-L, and I forget that most languages have that in like sentences and structures and stuff and whatnot. But like, what is it? I always think of like French. My brain just defaults to thinking like, oh, it's French. Allah something. Surely it must mean it's French, but I forgot other languages do in fact exist. Hi, Mahler. Heard they use this to sell homes. What do you mean? Alright. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna train? I'm gonna train. Choo-choo. I am gonna change our screens right now. Alright. Here. Let me just move some stuff around. Where is the... Oh, there it is. Off in the middle of nowhere. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. I was wondering where it was. It's right here. Here we are. We got our little baking setup here. We're gonna put it right over chat because I can. Alright. And yeah, let's just do some drawing. Let's just do a little doodle. Let's do a little thing even. Bread smells makes the house feel lived in. Oh boy. That is some broken English if I've ever seen it. Time is it? 1:56? Oh, so... Oh, wait, we've been live for an hour and a half already? kind of funny because, like, if that is to be the case, we've only been live for like a small amount of time, and I've already kind of made, what is it? I've made like, in essence, I've made like 4 things. I made 3 separate kinds of breads, and I have made a soup. I think that's kind of fun. What you think? Wow, speed. AL means a version of like a food in Spanish. I'll take your word for it. I have to ask one of my my pals in at work, one of my associates I know at work. She knows she knows Spanish. She doesn't really speak too much English, and I don't know. Cuitat. Okay, I know what that means. That means wet, right? No, that's something else. Cenar. Eesh. Guess what that means? I don't want to guess what it means. If it means something bad, I'm going to time you out. Or unless it's funny. So, hey, I'm just saying. I don't know what that means in Spanish. But if it's not funny, your life depends on this. I will quarter and shoot yas. Is she still around? I don't know what she is. What do you mean by she? Who she? I'm sorry. Alright, good. So, whatever that thing meant, it wasn't funny. Come on! Listen, if you want to be... if you want to be funny, I'm all for it if you want to be funny, but you gotta commit to your bit, sir. Home Depot... Oh, the Home Depot bear. Is she still around? Yeah. Wait, Mojat... So you're telling me, alright, dinner. So if you're telling me that if I go into Google Translate right now and get the translation of that, and it's not wet, because I know without a doubt in my mind, cuidado, or whatever it is. I can't say it because I see it on the janitor sort of things. And I assume that means it's wet, or wet floor. If that is not the translation, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do to you. Are you sure that it means it's wet? You promise. Alright, chat. We're about to probably kill a man today. Okay, you know what? I take back everything I said. I'm a filthy liar. I didn't believe. I didn't believe. And you know what? I'm gonna take that head on. I'm an idiot. I'm presumptuous. I am just your average American. You're lucky. You're lucky this time. Yeah, okay, good. Pinky promise. You can't go back on pinky promises now. But yeah, I'm gonna go get my friend. I'm gonna ask her, like, hey, what does this mean? Because... we all know Q, right? She speaks Spanish, and she says that my Spanish is horrendously bad. So, let me go ask my Spanish finiciado. Hey Q, what does mean mena? Okay. Let's see here. Why is it illustration 2? I don't... Stop that. Weird. Illustration... I do have illustration. Ito. But, Senna, the Helmut Depot bear, is she still around? I believe so. She is still hibernating. I believe she's mostly active in her Discord. So if you're like really interested to see like, oh, where is Senna? Where is Senna? Just go to her Discord. Go to her Discord. I think she's more active there than anywhere. Yeah. I'm not sure. Lung is our fellow Senna Bear simp expert here, so honestly, if you're wondering to know if Senna is still alive, it's probably best to ask her. Him. Lung. He is the simp he is the Senna simp aficionado, so he's probably the best one to ask. He's a lot more active there, and I can definitely say that I'm not active enough there at all. Mostly because, like, I guess anxiety. I don't know. So, yeah. Jeez. My. I'm lightheaded. Alright. Don't call me that. Mostly. Lung. Would you like to tell the class what you named your ace Pokemon and Cobblemon? And on top of that, would you like to also announce your skin in Minecraft? Come on. And would you also like to announce, on top of those two things, your probable, I'm just taking a guess, I don't know your Discord life, your most activity in the Discord server? It was not Bert, it was Senna. Don't lie to the people. It was an Ursaluna. Yeah, an Ursaluna named... It was an Ursaluna named Senna. Your skin also is, like, basically has, like, the Senna apron as well. Yeah, we're doxing you. Literally in Minecraft! And also, just saying, I see you a lot in that Senna server, too. So, like, yeah. I know. I know what you are. You're the Senna Simficionado. What is it? Person who is knowledgeable and enthusiastic about an activity, subject, or past night. Yep, yeah, our aficionado when it comes to Senar. Freak Bob. Hey, listen, it's not a bad thing to be obsessed over stuff. Listen, obsession is passion. It's just when you make it into an unhealthy obsession is when we start getting worried. But that doesn't happen, because we're all fairly normal people in chat. Right? Hope you guys are. I don't know. I'm not really normal to begin with, so I need to learn from, like, normal humans, if you will. Anyways. Oh, sorry, there is some people I gotta talk to on Twitter right now, and they are very important people. No one else matters. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. Doubling down? Screw you guys. I'm talking to this person right now. I have an obsession with a car? I mean, hey, out of all the things I have an obsession in, a car is not a bad thing to have. There's a lot of people that have obsessions over cars and all that sort of whatnot here, so... Well, not here, but I do know that there are a lot of people that I know in the physical, tangible world that are really obsessed over cars. Which I don't understand. I personally just don't like cars. I think they're kind of... meh, if you will. I don't know, I'm not really a car guy. I have my driver's license and all this and that, and like, hey, this car is cool, that car looks nice. I don't know the stats. I don't know, like, what's a good car versus a bad car, blah 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 blah. I don't know what a Nissan versus a Toyota is. They all look like cars in my head. So I'm not gonna be able to say, oh, that's a Model 17 E15 Toyota Honda Civic or something like that, you know? I know nothing about cars. All I really need to know when it comes to cars is that it works. No, can it work and that it works. But I will also mention I haven't probably driven the car in like when did COVID start? I don't know. Can't remember. Anyways, let's get to drawing, yeah? Let's do some drawing. We have to do something. I gotta give you guys some sort of visual stimuli. I need to give you something to look at. I want to work on this. Because their faces look bad. I hate it. I dislike it. Their expressions. I'm not sure if it's the hair or something else that I just can't see, but there's something about them that makes me dissatisfied. Simply said. One time my dad let me drive 1 second past and he said never mind. Is a second pass a car? Or did he let you drive for a second or something? What do you mean? What does he mean by this? Also, speaking of just saying chat, blah 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 blah, I've kind of realized when people say that, they're not talking about Twitch streaming and stuff like that. They're more or less referring to ChatGPT. And I can't help but feel a little upset over that. That's a great expression because it looks so, what is it? It looks very, not cynical, it looks very critical, but probably not that. Hello, how is it? It's going. I'll tell you that. Today is going good so far. We've made one of our first breads, so that's a plus. Kind of nice of how quick it is to make that bread. You call it quick bread after all, whenever you use baking soda or some sort of chemical leavening agent. More often than not, that is, by technicality, it is referred to as quick breads. So when you think of like muffins, when you think of like, what is it? When you think of muffins, when you think of, I guess technically cake, but cake is cake, not quick bread. Muffins, English muffins, stuff like that, those are technically quick breads. Fun little fact for those that are interested in such little trivial knowledge. But yeah, quick bread. Definitely is quick and definitely is bread. Hopefully. Gluten-free? Yeah, we're making bricks here. We're making Lincoln logs. We're making things that you could use to build, things you can make to use for building structures. Yeah! We're making buildings here. But it's all for a greater purpose. It's a greater purpose to eventually down the line to get to making a gluten-free bread that is based off Senar. Hold on, wait. Case and point being right here. Remember when we did that stream where I was just brainstorming Vtuber bread ideas? Yeah, we got her. It's gonna be a pain to do it, but the things I do for my dedication for my pals, or who I at least perceive as pals, I'm not sure. It has been 83 years. You're all but 5 years old. I sometimes don't trust myself. What do you mean? Trust yourself with what? Salty, did you know that means danger? Sure. I learned I can't draw a mouse? Learned I can draw with a mouse. Ah, okay. I mean, that's not really a bad place to start, even. I mean, hell, when I first started drawing and all that whatnot, I started drawing with a mouse. Hell, I used to think that drawing with a mouse was superior for some reason. Later, I learned that I was so wrong, and I would be wrong about many other things. But I know that drawing with a mouse, yeah, it works. But drawing with a tablet is just so much easier, let me tell ya. Especially if you are more used to drawing on like a pen and paper, then it just kind of transitions a bit nicely. I don't know. I'm not a professional artist. I just draw to get an idea down. Problem with my first actual drawing was not safe for work, but eh. I mean, hey, if you're getting bread while doing it, hey, you gotta get that bread, you gotta get that dough somehow, so hey, there's no shame in it. Unless it was like an extremely weird and odd fetishized thing, there's a point of like, might have to question yourself a little bit, but you are not needed to explain that if you don't want to. You're not required to explain that if you don't want to. I'm good at talking. I'm good at putting conversational stuff together. I don't have social anxiety. Nope, none of the sort. These eyelashes are also not good. Actually, I want to flip it. It's really this head right here, the perspective of this head that's kind of killing me, actually. Killing me on the inside, because like, it looks bad. But it's the perspective of the head. It's all about perspective, chat. Chat GDP. I was kind of forced myself to make it NSFW because I messed up on the chest and was too lazy to fix it properly. Hold on. There's a limit of how Freak Bob you can be, if that's what you're saying. Yeah. Like, if you're drawing, you know, characters that are a little bit too young to engage in such activities, that's a huge red flag. If you are making them interact with people of different species, that's also a red flag. That aren't humanoid, at least. Another red flag. And if you're doing it with real life people, that's also weird. Boundaries, people. Boundaries. Not many people know of them, but I would hope that you guys do know, because I know that the people in my chat are very, very knowledgeable. They're smart even. Is that correct? I avoid drawing actual people. As with I. That, and honestly, I'm gonna say it. Normal people are boring. To draw like your average Joe, like if you were to just draw some random schmo, I don't know, I feel it's kind of boring. The human, the average human is unfortunately very, very, how'd you say, basic? Like, oh yeah, no shoot, Sherlock, it's supposed to be, but like, you can't deny the fact. The factoid that, yeah, we're kind of boring to begin with. I don't know what this conversation came to. What if Salty had a FNAF OC? I've had OCs. I've had plenty of OCs in my entirety of my lifetime. I'll go out and say it, I've had Homestuck OCs. But I don't think I could stoop that low to have a FNAF OC. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. I don't think I can do it. Okay, 2 swooshes down. Man, I wish I knew how to draw noses, because it just looks so... what's the word? It just looks so empty. I know there's a thing about saying like, oh yeah, she's bald, because apparently this is a huge thing in her community, of like, everyone thinks she's bald. And I'm kind of not interested, but I'm kind of believing it at this point. I hear so much of people and whatnot calling her bald that's like, you know, if she's bald, she's bald. But I'm having that feeling that I think she might be bald. Projection that there's a lot of projection. There's a lot of feeling of projection that she might just actually be bald. Who knows? I certainly don't. Audio? Hey Salty, have you watched Dragon Ball? Oh yeah, I've watched Dragon Ball. I still think that, what is it? I do like Super. But Dragon Ball Z, I think, is just the bread and butter for me. It's peak. It's peak. Okay. Really quickly, we're gonna take a second here because I think, by the looks of it on the side, as I am staring off into my bread and whatnot, I think we should delve back into the kitchen. Alright. Back at it again with the Krispy Kreme. Here we are. DBZ the GOAT? Yeah. Dragon Ball Z is it's just great. I don't know, I think I like the Boo Saga, I like the, what is it, the Cell Saga and all that whatnot, but I still think that the Frieza was where peak happened, truly. That was peak, and I don't think there's any way to say it. There's no sugarcoating it, it just simply was the best. I would go as far and say that there is no contest. It just simply was peak. It was great. He's just perfect. Yeah, perfect Cell. Yeah, I do like the Cell Saga though. The Android Saga, whatever saga. Yeah. Blue Saga was good. Felt like, yeah, Goku was a little dumb though. A little bit. But yeah. I don't know. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna really quickly add cream to the chowder. Lots of cream. And I'm going to mix it. And here we go. There you go. My corn chowder. It's not cream corn chowder because usually your chowders will have cream inherently. But yeah, that looks good. It's a little bit more content than liquid, which is alright, I guess. But oof, very hearty soup. Okay, let me get out. Get out the cast iron. Yosha! Here we are. By the way Frieza was able to catch up to Goku and Super Dragon Ball SSB is just 4 months. It's crazy. I'm gonna probably say something a bit controversial, maybe. I think Frieza should have stayed dead. I'm also kind of the idea that, hey, I'm gonna say it. I think Dragon Ball should have ended where it did when it did. Super Saiyan Blue. Oh, to catch up to Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah. Listen, I'm just of the idea that like Dragon Ball Super is cool. But I'm also kind of the idea of like, hey, if a story's already good and you don't really need to add too much more to it, then I don't think there's really any point to doing it. I don't know. As much as it's like, oh hey, continuing the story so other future generations can witness new content, I guess. I get it, but also integrity of the current content, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just some old fuddy-duddy thinking about it that way, I suppose. Blame Toei? Yeah, that's mostly a Toei thing. Sorry, I kind of just burnt myself a little bit, a tad. Seared my hand a little bit because I forgot that I actually have to let the bread rest and rise again. Unfortunately, yeasted breads don't just go like that and they're ready to go. So in that same regard, I'm actually gonna really quickly get the one here. Okay, actually, it's actually kind of crazy of how like nice and smooth this feels. Like this does actually feel like a genuine bread. If DBZ Broly was in the Tournament of Power, all they need to do is yell Kakarot and the Universe 6 is cooked. I will say there is merit with Super because I really like Super Broly. I like his character a lot. I think it's great. I'm not saying it's peak though, but I do genuinely like it. I think it's endearing. I also just kind of have a thing. I think like big idiots with a lot of power are just kind of funny. Maybe funny is not exactly the right word to use, but I like the big ol' idiots. They're charming in their own way, you know? I like both Brolys. Based? I'm just very picky, I suppose. I don't know. Oh wait, no, I was gonna say, wait, did this just move on its own? But no, I just moved my cutting board. Anyways, got some small things I need to do. I need to do some, what's the word here? Some maintenance. Gotta feed Wheatley. which is my sourdough starter. Okay. You know, it's kind of funny when I think about sourdough nowadays. When I used to really be when I was really new with making sourdough and whatnot, I would try to make sure I'm taking into account everything. Like, okay, I need to put this much flour and this much water, and I need to make sure I do this and do that, but it is very soothing to know that I at least know enough about sourdough and like how it's made and like starters and all that whatnot that I actually don't really need to worry about that anymore. I can kind of just purely focus on I can just kind of go off consistency. Like, oh yeah, I need to add more flour, or oh yeah, I need to add more water. You can't see it right now because my camera is being a little silly. Ooh, I don't like how that just went like that, but yeah, it's still a little wet. I once more added a little bit too much flour, but I mean too much water. But hey, it's all fine. I just had to add a little bit more flour. But yeah, I was really like worried about like, oh, it's gonna be too wet or it's gonna be too dry. But now I'm kind of in the point when it comes to bread baking and whatnot, towards like I don't really need to measure it. Measuring is overrated. I can just kind of go off the looks, the visuals, and it's like, yep, that's the consistency I'm looking for. Mastery over the craft. Bleh. Did you watch the DBS Broly movie? Stuff was fire. Shit was fire. No, I haven't seen it. Not because I don't want to or anything, but more or less for the reason of like I just don't watch movies. Now, granted, I will say I've seen clips. I've seen like the main fight and all that whatnot, you know, I've seen the main action, the main parts, if you will, the things that you want to see, but yeah, I haven't actually sat down and watched the movie, so to say. But I have heard and I have seen that it is good. I'm also gonna pour up my soup. Huh, the contents actually were fairly balanced. Nice. Didn't even burn on the bottom. Jeez, I'm good at making soup. Kinda. And just like that, I've made myself 2 nights of food. Or at least 2 meals now. Because that is a lot of freaking soup. 2 quarts of soup. Do you know how much that is? That's like 4 cups of soup per container. I mean, yeah, 4 cups. Because there's 4 cups in a quart. Fun fact. Alright, letting that cool, letting that cool. Have you ever played Luigi's Mansion before? I have not. I want to play it, it's just that I don't feel like paying a premium for it, you know? Just don't feel like it. Don't wanna. Not into it. Would love to play it, but I just don't feel like paying the premiums. Nintendo games don't go on sale, so it's hard for me to get those games, and I'm also really broke. So yeah. Anyways, I think it's a good time. I'm gonna actually take a picture before I eat it. I'm gonna actually, let's test out this gluten-free bread right now. Let's try and test the waters. Let's check how it is. Because honestly, picking it up, I'm feeling quite hopeful. This is supposed to be just the baking soda one, but it's not terribly heavy. It doesn't feel incredibly, like, dense. But so far, this feels good. I would go as far and say it feels promising. So, let's check it out. Ooh, that's not bad. Okay, it's still a little bit dense, but in comparison to what I have made for the first run I did, there's actually some springage, there's actually some bounce, and there's actually a bit of floof. It's not extremely dense. I will take note, because I probably didn't bake it long enough, is that there is still a little bit of wet here. But like, this doesn't look terrible. I'm actually quite satisfied with how that looks. Though I will say that looks can be deceiving. How does it taste? Really salty. Really salty, actually. But actually, not bad. Yeah, that's really, really salty. I think I definitely added way too much salt. I have to go through those numbers again, but really salty, not bad. The texture is good. It's not terribly dense. It's actually quite crumbly. It is very reminiscent of like an English muffin or whatnot. But actually, I could actually see this being a fairly good bread. That's not terrible. Not terrible, actually. I'll figure out what I can do with that later, but for a second run, and in comparison to the first run I had, not terrible. Salty, but not terrible. Alright, let's see. I still got time on these breads. They still need a rise. And also, just saying, technically speaking, this one is no longer gluten-free, just because of this is what I use to bake all my other breads. So, of course, it's a little, kind of cross-contaminated at this point, but it's good. I mean, it's good enough for me, because I'm not giving this to someone who has celiacs or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyways, bricks are done. Well, bricks, we're half done with our bricks. We're gonna go back to my desktop. One schmuckaroo, aka $1. Technically, it's more or less 1 cent. But hey, thank you for the bit there, Soft. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you, thank you. Unless they change the bits from being 1 salt to $1, which is that's a bit of a big jump, I will say, but sure. I know that Twitch prices have been going up everywhere, but like, I wouldn't want to think it's that bad. Sorry, I was watching something. I got a little distracted for a moment there. My fault. My apologies. I got distracted. I was watching something that was... Gee. I'm not sure if anyone heard that, but like there was like a real close plane that just like flew over. I just wanted to take a second to listen to that. That was cool. Okay, back to drawing. Back to the saddle again with drawing. So far, expressions look better so far. I like how they look. So yay, yippee, yahoo. Yesterday was my first time in 5 or 6 years that I ate McDonald's. Why would you do that? You went so long without eating McDonald's and then you decided to break your streak. Listen, I'ma say it. McDonald's is so bad now. It really is. Like beforehand, McDonald's was like a nice, well not nice, it was an affordable meal for people that was like getting off work from like a 9 p.m. and whatnot. And it's like, hey, I might as well go by and grab McDonald's because I don't feel like cooking for myself and I also have no money. But nowadays it's like what? For like a Happy Meal or whatnot, it's like what, $20 or something? It's like, I feel like it's an extraneous amount of money for what you're paying for, and it's like, listen, if you're gonna spend that much money and you're gonna go get a very sad subpar patty, or like a brick, because I'ma say it, I think eating not gluten-free, I think eating a, not gluten-free, what is it? Eating a vegan burger is better than eating a McDonald's burger. I'm not sure if that's slander or not, but like, I think the McDonald's burgers, McDonald's food nowadays is just so bad. And it is also extremely overpriced. And they get away with it because everyone just loves McDonald's. They love the sugar, they're addicted to it. They're all addicted to it and all that whatnot. But like, if anything, if I ever go to McDonald's, I just kind of get fries. I'll probably steal like a chicken nugget if anything, but like I don't even like the chicken nuggets anymore. They're just so it's just so bad to begin with. McDonald's is just not that good. But then you also take into account of like, oh yeah, the pricing is pretty rough as well. So it's not really even that nice and affordable anymore. It's just plain bad. Now I will say though, McDonald's in America is bad. McDonald's in Japan, when I went to Japan, pretty peak, pretty good. I wouldn't mind getting McDonald's every day if that was the case. Not horrible. But still, I think going out for a nice meal was plenty better than McDonald's. It's not that I wanted to, it was the only restaurant there was my mom couldn't cook because we were on a road trip. Fair enough. Okay, well, lad, you've kind of gotten yourself in this troubling situation here, and I might have to tell you something here. I'm just gonna give you a quick warning right now. If you are not 18 plus, 18 plus? I'm not sure. 16 plus? I don't know the full term. If you're not old enough, I think you might. I would like to kindly ask if you could get yourself out of here. I'm not sure what that says about me assuming, like, oh, you're on a road trip and you're eating McDonald's? Ooh, you're like a 6-year-old or something. Just the assumption, the presumptuous thing to think of. it looks just so much better when I add the lines, but for some reason it just looks bad when I take them away. Why is it, horrible. Gotta move everything down a bit. Hydration check. Thank you. I will hydrate myself in due time in just a moment here. Manto, why do you keep relogging? You're getting in front of my thing here. There you go. I swear I'm not 60 years old. Well, I'm not saying you're 6 years old, but I'm saying if you're under 16, you might have to show yourself out. I'll be modest, I just curse, so I'm fine if you're like 18 or whatnot. Just don't talk to me. I'm not gonna become like most Minecraft VTubers, Minecraft YouTubers, talking to minors. Don't talk to minors. Bleh. That looks better. I'll get back to this eventually. No diddy, no diddy, no diddy. We don't, none of that here. Nada. Okay. I am being rather impatient. I think I'm gonna actually start, baking off some of those breads now. Not worth moving the entire setup. You can see it in the top right here. If anything, I will enlarge it real quick. But yeah, hold on. Give me a sec. Oh, so hot. And in the oven for 15 it goes. Ugh. Okay. Alright. Well. I don't know what to do. We are just waiting for that bread to bake at this point. I will go out and admit something though, because I am gonna take full responsibility when I say this. To when I say that I don't feel... It's a crazy thing for me to say, first of all. But also, I don't feel like baking today. I don't know. I mean, like, I do feel like baking, but I don't feel like baking bricks today. It is interesting to see how and what they turn into at the end of it all, but like... But also, it's like, not even like a thing of like streaming and whatnot, because it's like, oh, I gotta stream and blah 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 blah. It's like, not even really that. This has been on my bucket list. Okay, maybe not bucket list, but this has just been one of my, hey, Salty, you gotta do this eventually. So, one of the things that I just been meaning to do for quite some time. We're also gonna change screens real quick. Hold on. This has just been something that I've been meaning to do for such a long time. I do want to get that ball rolling when it comes to making gluten-free breads, because it just makes the next steps to making Vtuber breads a lot more easy. Let me see here. Let me just bring it up. Let me just bring the thing back up again, because there are a lot of what is it? There are a lot of tubers and whatnot to where it's like I need to make bread of A, B, and C. Hold on. I'll go through my text documents here because I'm trying to see. Trying to find my recipes, not recipes, ideas I have for some tours. I'm not sure where they are. There it is. All right. There are some breads that I do plan on making that aren't in this art program right now. But there actually is a few, and I think I probably did some different things. Also, I've just realized that I am not showing off the bread because not the bread, the smart board right now because it's on the kitchen cam. Lo and behold, it is here, but the kitchen cam is actually no. This is more important than the kitchen cam. I have been working and thinking about other sort of breads and whatnot, and some of them aren't here. Like I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not pretty sure. Q's bread is completely different. It is something. It is going to be a lemon makora. So it's a more regional bread from where she's from. It's more true to herself, I suppose, and it feels a lot more inspired than just doing a lemon meringue cornbread with starfruit on top. I think it's a little bit more on the nose, if you will, but doing a lemon makora seems a little bit more sensible, if you will. There's also another tuber, a new tuber I decided to put on, what is it? On the list of breads I want to make. Someone named Koki. She is a VTuber from the group 3am. I actually met her at a meet and greet. At a meet and greet in what is it? Meet and greet in the Offkai. Very lovely, very friendly. I think I first met them, got an interaction with them, saw them on Vtuber chat. That was fun. And then hold on. Then I just been trying to watch their streams, but when they stream, it's like in the absolute, like, what's the word? Absolute, like, witching hour for me. I imagine their time zones are different, so they stream at different times and whatnot, but try to catch one of her streams. So I kind of, so more often than not, I'm watching VODs and whatnot. But I actually was able to pop the question to her, like, hey, if you were bread, what would you be? So I have came up with a fairly unique bread. It's based on, what is it? It's based on a few things. Funny enough, it's based on juvenile, not juvenile, but just tadpoles or frog eggs, because they have little circles and they have little black splodges as well. And a lime leaf tea bread. I just think that sounds really lovely. I think that kind of fits the scheme as well. So I'm thinking of trying to do a black sesame lime leaf tea bread. I think that sounds really cool. But the thing that stops me from making that is that I need a specific pan. I do not have the specific pan to make this because there is something you can get, I want to get, that makes it more frog shaped. Or bear shaped, if you will. But I'm kind of investing in saving up for that. Senna's thing is different. It's just gonna be a gluten-free cinnamon swirl bread, and it's gonna be a lot nicer. Let's see. Mila, I'm still working on her bread. I've done some tests and whatnot for her bread, and it turned out okay. It turned out good. I'm not disappointed. No, it's not bad. It's just really disappointing. It just doesn't hit the mark for me. It's just not it. It's just meh. Anyways, here's my thing. When I was coming with the concept of the bread, I thought it'd be really cool to see and witness some sort of chemical reaction or whatnot. Because gotta go now. Bye, Salt. See ya. Bye, dinner. Bye. When I was trying to make the concept for this, I did want to do some fun little things, like a cool chemical reaction and whatnot. Because there is a unique interaction that happens with walnuts and flour. There is something in walnuts, I believe it's the tannins or something, that actually makes the flour turn purple. If you don't know who Mila is, she is purple-ish. So I thought that doing that would actually be nice, and although it's not as purple as I'd like it to be, the bread tasted good, it was alright, so But I think I'm gonna definitely add like other things to it. It's just kinda, it needs a bit more. So I'm thinking of trying to make it into like a blueberry nut bread, blueberry walnut bread, so it still has that fun chemical reaction happen, and also it has a bit more of a blue look to it. And also another thing is that when I was coming with the concept of this when I was testing this bread, there was one big issue to where I was constantly having, and I couldn't tell if it was because it was too much salt or it was just too savory. But the biggest issue I've had when making this bread was that it desperately needed something sweet. It just needed something a little bit more sweet. So I think I want to add some blueberry, maybe make some blueberry jam or something. Just mix that in the stuff, help out with a bit of the sweetness, and then blueberries and walnuts just work well together. Now there's another one. I think it's still the same. Yeah, this one. Funny thing is that I think she graduated recently, so I'm making bread for a dead VTuber. That's fun. There's this bread. It's a cheese bread essentially, but this cheese is fairly expensive for me that I don't feel like making. There's another VTuber I know of. He's a tea VTuber, magical tea guy. Not girl, tea guy. Magical tea guy VTuber. But his thing is green. And I have been interested in making matcha tea bread, so a matcha bread, so I'm thinking about making maybe a matcha tea bread. That might be interesting. Gooby right here, I'm gonna make a honey bread. That just, yeah, it's like, yeah. Mips bread, wherever she is. I have a new bread for her. It is going to be it's gonna be a braided bun. Just cause, what is it? The bread recipe I looked into is a lot more in tune to her heritage, I suppose. I don't think she's German, but she's around that area. So she's German-esque. Dutch? I'm not sure, I have to ask her. But, there's that. So I want to make buns though, because she has, well, hair buns, so it'd be fun to make buns out of her hair. She's German? Alright, sweet. Yeah, I want to make bread that's based off her little hair buns here. Bun, bread, thank you for the bit, thank you. Yeah, make a little bun for the buns. There's another tuber, I'm not sure if she's on here, she is not. But there's she's a mouse VTuber. Met them at the first Offkai I went to. Not this year, but last year's, I think. Gonna make a Swiss cheese bread. I don't know. I'm still working on that one. Temp, I'm gonna make him an Irish soda bread. I think that just works well with him. Bit notifications are quite loud. I can turn them down if that is the case. If they're loud, that's actually kind of a funny thing. So I'll probably go back and listen to them. Here, let me just turn it down. Thank you though. Thank you for telling me that was loud. Honestly, okay, there's two other breads I want to work on just because of the sheer obscurity of it. Nicola, I'm gonna make a bread based off her because I want to make a bread out of soda. That sounds really funny, so I'm gonna do that. And there's another guy up here that isn't here present, but he is a barista, not a barista. That's for like coffee and stuff. But he is a bartender, and he's red. So putting 2 and 2 together, I want to do a red wine bread, but that's kind of difficult because red wine has tannins. And I believe there is some unique sort of interaction with yeast in that, to where it will make the yeast grow a lot more slowly. That, and also red wine. Here's a novel idea. Red wine has alcohol in it, and alcohol kills yeast. So, trying to think about that now. I'm pretty sure an easy fix would just to like cook the red wine until the alcohol is cooked off, which probably actually might be for the better, honestly. But I'm also thinking that the steam that would come from the red wine would actually be very beneficial. So to get rid of some of the liquid and water would actually probably be to its own detriment, because I imagine the water would help with rise and all that stuff. Imagine being a red bartender, right? Jeez, what a loser. What a loser, you know? If I was a red bartender, man, I would be so sad. I'd be so upset. Like, oh no, why am I a bartender? And why am I red? Alright. Okay. Let me go to my oven, the kitchen area. The timer just went off, so let me check. Take a little look-see. Alright. Ooh, not bad. Okay, actually, out of all the breads so far today, this looks and feels like the most bread. That's a pretty good bread, I gotta say. Alright. Anyways, getting that all done. Yeah, actually, let me get it in frame. Hold on. Although it did not have an amazing rise, I will have to say, it didn't have the most amazing of rises, but that is just solely on the thing that I am impatient. Looking at it, it's not bad. It doesn't look horrible. The color is a lot better. The visuals is just so much better. The visual in itself looks a lot better, as you can see. There is also a much more notable, like, ear, if you will, so it did have some rise. But it obviously didn't have enough rise in comparison to the one up here. But at the same time, there would be a better rise if I wasn't so goddamn lazy. Well, not lazy, if I didn't want to rush it. So, yeah. What kind of bread you making? I am making... I'm making gluten-free bread. That is what I am making currently. It's heinous, it's blasphemous, it's something I really don't want to do because I don't really like gluten-free stuff to begin with. But this is for the end goal of making a bread for a friend. Friend bread, the best kind of bread. I think I've already been talking about this, and I also just forgot that you probably just got in. I'm making bread for this thing, this little creature, this... Hold on, you can't even see it. This thing, this creature, this silly goofball. So I'm making bread based off them. Senar, yeah. I'm gonna make them I want to make a cinnamon swirl gluten-free bread. I think that'd be nice, I think that'd be lovely. So that's in the works. And so far, on how we've been making good pace and I've been doing some good experimentation so far, I can see this actually turning out to be fairly good. The only thing that makes this a bit more, not tedious, but a little bit more, I don't want to make this, is that it uses an egg. Eggs are expensive, and I don't feel like spending money. And oh my god, wait, that's funny. Okay, I'm scrolling on Twitter right now. 100% scrolling on Twitter. There is a thing that the Socks agency is holding, by the looks of it. SVA will be hosting a Uma Musume tournament featuring everyone's favorite pink-haired Uma. Chat, I'm kind of interested. Everyone will pay on fresh accounts, so don't grind in anticipation of this. Haruura only races will be in the Arima Kinnen. There will be a prize for first, but also a prize for last. Interesting. I do actually want to draw, draw Haru as well. But I do have this tendency, this natural tendency to when I want to draw... When I want to draw an anime character and whatnot, I don't want to draw them. Which I know that sounds like a very silly thing to say. And I don't know how to explain this sort of conundrum. But there is a thing of like, hey... What's the word? There is a thing to where it's like... I don't want to draw an anime character because... I don't want to draw an anime character because I don't want a whole fandom being upset at me because I can't draw them correctly. But it's kind of funny because I will draw not normal, but VTubers casually and not have that same worry. Unless they are huge and big VTubers, because I will downright refuse to draw them. Not just because of like I don't like them or whatnot, it's just that it's extremely intimidating. So it's kind of in that shame. It's kind of in that same sediment. Yeah. But eventually I'll probably get over it. I don't know. So hey, how are you guys doing? I doubt most people will care for anime characters. I can see some parasocials getting mad about big VTubers though, still probably unlikely. Yeah, I mean, I think I would rather draw an anime character than a big VTuber, just because parasocialites are a lot more scary to deal with than huge fans. I don't know. I'd rather not get pipe bombed, but at the same time, it's like, I'd be really surprised if you could pipe bomb me, because I don't have a mailbox. But, yeah, I don't know. Pipe bomb, whoa 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 whoa. Yeah, I'm so impatient. I just want this bread to be baked. I want to go take like a 1 sec. I want to take like a 10-second nap. I guess I should give some constitution to reason to why I want to do that, because there's a very high possibility that we might do a double stream today. We might do another stream today. It will be a little later in the day. Well, later in the night, actually. It will be maybe at 8. But yeah, maybe do a collab stream at 8 p.m. More information at 8. So I just want to try and get a little bit of a nappy, because when it comes to doing a collab stream and whatnot, that does require pretty much the equivalent, if not the same amount of energy it takes for my baking streams and whatnot. And I know that sounds kind of silly, because like, oh, baking streams should be easy, because for the most part I'm just kind of sitting around mixing bread and all that whatnot. But it's like the heat's kind of bad, it's kind of rough. And talking, I've realized that there's a much easier. I found this thing of like, hey, if I am streaming and I'm baking and or cooking at the same time, I tend to talk a lot more. But as I talk more, I use more of that precious energy. So there is a bit of a conundrum. I need to go take a little nap, and then I also have to worry about food because, well, you know, gotta eat. But I already have something I'm gonna make tonight. I have some pulled pork. I have some cabbage, and I'm probably just gonna slice some cabbage, get one of my brioche buns, throw it in the oven to let it unfreeze, thaw out, and I'm just gonna make a pulled pork sandwich with coleslaw. So yeah, coleslaw pulled pork sandwich sounds very lovely right now, and I'm probably gonna do that when I wake up from my nap, because I don't like I don't like to eat and then go immediately to sleep, because it just, first of all, that's not good for you. That is an easy way to gain weight, and also it's just not healthy, and then it ruins your circadian cycle and your sleep schedule and all this and all that. And my sleep schedule's already been pretty bad, so then I'm trying to fix it. So yeah, That Uma Musume stream from 2 days ago really did ruin my sleep schedule, let me tell ya. But I gotta try and fix it now. I got work Friday, so I gotta do that. I'm not gonna be telling you who I collab with just yet. I am most likely going to make that announcement when it's 2 hours before we stream, just because I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to stream. It is just up in the air. But if we do end up streaming, great. If we don't end up streaming, well, that's why I don't want to make the post just yet. But keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled, and if you want to really make sure you know, make sure you know when I'm gonna go live today or not, join the Discord. It should be in the link of the YouTube description if you want to join. It is in my Twitch about if you want to go check that out. And you'll get a notification to when I will go live and make that announcement. Yeah. Man, this is the longest 3 minutes of my life, let me tell ya. Well, I guess I will cut it short and say that, yeah, we're pretty much done with stream today. It's only 3 minutes, so we might as well just go get into rating into someone, yeah? Now the question is who are we gonna go rate into? 'Cause I don't know. Actually, the funny thing is, there's a lot of people live right now, which is surprising. It's Wednesday. I would imagine that a lot of people at this time are, you know, working, or maybe just relaxing or something. I don't know. Would not be, and just would be very, very surprised, I guess. I don't know. It's also 3. I imagine people would come more active when it's like, what is it? I imagine people would become more active around the 5 or something like that, like 2 or 3 hours from now. But there's a lot of people live right now as we speak, actually. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that most we're gonna go raid 1 of 2 people. Yeah, we're gonna go raid 1 of 2 people. Might want to raid into someone named Nox Orphe. They're quite nice. They seem quite nice. So we might go raid into them. What is it? Reverie. Yeah, remember her? She introduced me into them, and because we raided into her. So I might go raid into her, honestly, because I'm a little worried over... Not worried, but like... I was gonna go raid to some, Mip. We love Mip, but at the same time, it's like... Whew, she has like 74... She has 74, which is like... First of all, holy hell. Amazing growth that she has had recently. I'm very happy for her, but... I'll push you guys to somewhere else, I suppose. I guess thinking about that now, I should look into who we should raid on YouTube side. This is the most time I've ever given myself. This is quite nice, let me tell you. To look into doing proper raids and whatnot. Look at me go. Nice, didn't realize she was that big. Me too! Me too! But I'm all for it. It's great. I'm so happy for her. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like, there's anyone that we can go raid into on YouTube side, unfortunately, so we're just gonna have to kick that bucket now, because there's no one to raid on YouTube side. But, if you guys want to jump on to that train for Twitch, I'll give you the next few seconds to do that, next minute, because I have to pull the bread for the other thing. Okay, I definitely gotta say, that bread, that bottom bread right there, I think that's the mix of that's the mix of yeast and baking soda, but I think that is the best looking one. They both were baked at the same time. The one with baking soda had a lot nicer looking rise. So I think that is gonna be the recipe I look into more, maybe. I'm gonna have to taste it and test it on my own time, unfortunately. So you're not gonna see that part. But I think we're finishing up here. If you guys want, you guys should start switching over, going to Twitch side. I am trying to set up the raid as we speak. Bush, you came in way last minute. We're ending stream right now. But we will stream later today, maybe? Anyways, I'm gonna go take a quick power nap. So, thank you all for tuning in today, though. I hope to see you either, not today, but later today. I might stream later tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow, but that is still up in the air. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow, but that's up in the air. I might stream tomorrow. So there's definitely probably gonna maybe be a stream tomorrow. But later today, there's a 50-50. So keep an eye out on the Discord if you're interested on that. Making that raid message right now. Gonna make that raid message apparent. And yeah. Hop on that side if you want to go join that raid. Thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, and or evening. And keep an eye out for announcements for today. I'll see you around later. Yeah. Okay. Saltea Kichee, everyone, and ciao.